Well, hello there. It's Self-Love Synergy again, wanting to say hello. How you doing today? Or as Wendy Williams would say, how you doing? I'm doing fantastic. I'm back outside in nature. I'm grounding. I'm actually on the ground and connecting to that Mama Earth. Yes, yes. How are you doing? Are you outside? No. Have you been outside? No. Well, you gotta go outside. Go outside and touch the ground with your feet, not with rubber shoes, with your feet or moccasins. I like moccasins too. They're made of leather, so you can get the grounding effect if it's a natural substance. Rubber won't allow you to have the grounding effect from Mother Nature, from Mama Earth. Okay, and so that's what I want to talk about today. Divine energy. And I like to remind everyone that I'm always coming from a place of divinity. I'm coming from a place of understanding God, God the Father, yes, God in the Bible, as love. And not only God, but Allah, source energy, all the names you'd like to call it, as love, living one vibrational energy with all. That's divine love. When you're just living one vibrational energy on your own, that's kind of selfish love. And so, and usually when you're doing it on your own, you're not truly living one vibrational energy within all your bodies, like your mental, your spiritual, your emotional, and your physical. They're usually a little bit, off caliber. So it is toxic love. It really is. Now, why is it so important? Maybe you may be asking, why do we need to understand God as love? Well, love is an energy, a divine energy. So it is very important to know that. And when you understand God, God the Father, when they would say he's omnipresent, omnipotent, in everything, around everything, manifesting everything, well, it's more easier to relate to that if you're looking at God as an energy rather than a male figure. So, yes. And again, why do you think, or if in case you're wondering, why is that important? Why do we need to know and understand God as energy instead of God the Father? Well, you can understand God as God the Father. There's nothing wrong with that because the energy as God the Father is a personified masculine, divine masculine energy. And so there's nothing wrong in understanding that, but you have to understand that when you do understand God as energy, then you, as a reality, not as a belief. Well, energy is electricity and magnetism. Electricity is masculine and magnetism is feminine. So God the Father has both masculine and feminine energies within him. If we want to think about it as God the Father. And there's nothing wrong with saying that because you and I, we all have masculine and feminine energies running through us. They would say it's a duality of the world. Or when you're thinking of it within your brain, it's like logic as opposed to creativity or art, technology or sorry. That's not within your brain, but another example would be how there's science and then there's art, there's creativity. Well, both of them combined into one divine intelligence. That's God. That's the energy of God. That's also the energy of love. And so therefore, I think it's important for us to know that because we flow in God all day long, or we flow in love all day long. You know how fishes swim in an ocean of water? Well, and they live in it and they breathe in it, however which way they do it. And then when they come out of that water and they're in air, they got to go back into the water to breathe. And we're kind of the opposite. You know, once we're in the water, we got to get out of the water after a while to come up in the air to breathe. Well, the air and the oxygen around us, it's an ocean of energy. So we're actually living within an ocean of God. And we're breathing it, God in and breathing God out, or love, living one vibrational energy with all in, and living one vibrational energy with all out. And it is with all, because everyone in the world are drinking the same water that's falling from the same sky, or that's in the same, reservoirs and lakes and oceans within the same planet. We all have the same soil coming from the same planet. Again, everything, all of our resources are coming from the same planet. And everything that is around us and we're breathing is all, for all of us. So that's how I know that God is non-judgmental. And non-prejudice. It is for all. When you have a sun, I often think about it as when the sun shines. If you have a Christian or you have a Muslim and you have an atheist and they're all side by side and there's no trees or anything, the sun is beaming down. Do you think that the rays of the sun is just going on the Christian, or it's just going on the Muslim, or it's just going on the atheist? No, it's going on all three of them. The only way it's not going to hit you is if, one of them decides to go in the shade, or all of them, so we really truly have to understand this energy. And this energy also is what matures all of life, or what grows and sprouts all of life. And the evidence of that is, if you've been watching my videos, it's within the seed. All seeds grow in the same type of manner. They get planted into the ground, you water them, you give them sunshine, you give them love, and they just sprout right up. Or if it's not the actual ground in the earth, then you go to the store and you buy soil. And the seeds work the same way. So this energy is everywhere, within everything. It is traveling within you and I. And since it is masculine and feminine, then it is the logic compared to the intuition. And it's about combining the two, or the mind or the brain with the heart, combination of those two. Like, it's the duality combined as one. It's even light and dark combined as one. And all of this is truly important. Now, I know you're probably like, well, how come we don't really know this? I think because, my spiritual awakening, I did a lot of researching, and I looked into a lot of areas that, as a Christian, you just wouldn't look into. You only are to look in the Bible for all your answers. And I wasn't looking for answers. I was just curious. I just wanted to know more, because I was coming into this understanding that God is divine love. And when you break energy, electromagnetic, down in an even deeper way, then you have sound frequency and light frequency. That's the other two that marry up as one to make God, the divine love. And when you really get deep into things, you can understand that frequency really is the God of this world. If you match the frequency, then you create the reality for yourself. Now, I don't know how the ancients used it in the past, but I do believe that there were ancient people on this earth that understood sound and frequency. They probably didn't speak much because they didn't want to disrupt the divine, radiant energy of God. The pure electromagnetic energy that is non-toxic, that has no toxins. It's pure radiance. It's vibrant. It is alive. and it is extremely intelligent. However, if you aren't aware of it, and you are speaking the wrong kinds of words, the sounds and the frequencies, your mind, your intention, all the subtle energy, life force within you, I explained in another video, is our mind and our emotions and, our attentions, our imagination, all the things that we can't see but is part of who we are. If those energies are off and they're not in alignment and not tuned into the radiant divine energy of God, then I believe it can go radioactive. And radioactivity, what do we get from radioactivity? We can get bombs from radioactivity. We can get cancer from radioactivity. We can get pollution. We can get sick. It's not good. Death, premature death can come from radioactivity. Yes, but I believe that if we were to revert it and get it back into radiant energy, it could be very healing. Healing for all of us, healing for our planet and ourselves. So that's why I really want to bring this understanding to the world. The Christians need to know this, not just New Age. That's the thing, is some people look at ancient understandings and they'll get an understanding of something. Another group will look at New Age, they'll get an understanding of it, and then the Christians of the Bible, and they get an understanding of it too through God the Father. And then Muslims and whatever religions you have around the world, whatever deity they are worshiping, they are getting the understanding of a divine energy that's controlling and ruling the world. Not really controlling it, but maybe they may think that, but I wouldn't look at it as controlling things. Everything is manifested from it, kind of thing. And thy will be done. Life is the goal of this energy, and so it will operate as law of life, and it will continuously operate that way. And I don't think one person can go against it. And we could create a little radioactivity within it, but we can't destroy it. We can't come against it. It's like trying to come against a hurricane or a tornado. The one person's no, we can't do that. Maybe through technology we can do certain things and try to manipulate the energies around it to try to direct it. It's making me think of the Native Indians and how they truly honored the land. When the Europeans came, let's just say water, the Europeans built lead pipes and made the water do what they wanted it to do, from the ocean into the homes, for our plumbing. However, the lead pipes, the water is crashing, and the more it crashes into and gets steered, and where man is trying to dominate it, it's stripping the life force from it. It's deadening it. That's what I believe. Okay, I don't know if you're going to hear this anywhere else but from me, but this is what I believe. Now, the not ancient, but the Native Indians, when they wanted plumbing and, wanted to use water, what they would do was study the flow of the water. And then they would build, natural canals for the water to flow and, just try to ease it a little bit at a time to get it to where they'd like to have it. But they honored the water, keeping it alive as much as they can, Yeah, so that's what we have to understand. Well, we don't have to, but I think it would be to our benefit and to our future children's benefit if we do start to understand this energy and start to honor it and respect it. And then we can utilize it for ourselves and get the benefits from it. I think You know, in the Bible, they said that people were living 300 plus years and we're dying under 100 years. I think there's a lot of premature death going on. And so in order for us to have greater lifespans and greater quality of life, we must understand how to honor and respect this energy. And it could be very fun. Very, very fun. Today, I'll give you a little example of how I honored and respected the divine energy today. Well, today, beautifying myself. I'm honoring the vessel, the body, the temple that is created through this divine energy, and I nourish it and I feed it. I don't feed it chemicals. I feed it all natural. I make my own all-natural soaps. I make my own all-natural deodorants and creams and lotions and potions. And, if I'm painting my nails, it's going to be, with vegan products. I try to stay away from toxic chemicals as much as I can because we aren't a toxic chemical. We are a natural being. And so, by doing that, I feel like it makes me feel so good. It makes me feel so beautiful. Like I'm in my 50s, believe it or not. And I feel the best I've ever felt in my life. I feel more beautiful than when I was in my 30s and 40s. And so, and it's because I'm starting to take good care of myself. And that's what I would like to ask all of you to start to consider, taking good care of yourself. And if you're interested, I can show you how to make some basic, I'd be putting in a whole lot of extra from my own self. But I can help you to understand how to know how to make basic products for, beauty products for yourself or cleaning products for your home. That's not a problem. And maybe you may want to get creative and, watch one of those videos and learn something and actually apply it and do it and see what happens. And you'll know that what I'm speaking is not wrong. It's not a lie. So, yeah. But anyway, look at me. I go on and on. I really don't know what to say in these videos. I say that all the time. And I'm always kind of nervous still. I think maybe that would be all for today. Or should I talk about something else? Oh, also, how I honored and respected the energy today. When you... I don't know if I should get into it in this video. It's another whole video on its own. But I decided to speak good words to myself. I decided to think and believe good things about myself. I reminded myself, I am capable. I'm lovable. I'm sassy. I'm sexy. I'm gorgeous. I'm beautiful. No one compares to me. I'm one in a million. I'm rare. And those are all true. It's all true. It's true for you too. And I started speaking that to myself and giving myself love today. In other words, I decided to mature out of my ego and into the ally. Remember, I don't know if you're watching the other videos. However, I refer to ego as edging God out. When you're edging out the divine energy of living one vibrational energy with all, and you're thinking there's nothing to that, whatever, and you're just doing what the 3D world says, and you're thinking in the way that the 3D world thinks, which is not really believing in yourself, not really understanding that you are unique and you are special and you are one of a kind and you're priceless and you can do, be, and have anything you want. The world will say, what kind of abilities do you have? I mean, are you good enough? They size you up. There's competition. There's rejection. There's, It's just, if you can't do anything without money, you can't do anything without knowing people and who you know, all of these things. It'll say that you can't succeed, you know, just by telling yourself that you can. You can't say it is my birthright to be successful. No, you got to go to school for it. You got to know somebody. You got to, you know, that's how the world will make you think a different way. And I just don't want to think that way anymore. We are love. We have been giving life. Life. And look how beautiful it is. You know, sometimes I get real kind of when I hear Christians or certain, even, you know, divine people who call themselves light workers or whatever, and they get frustrated and they'll say, oh, I just can't wait to get off this planet. You know, this planet is a prison planet. They'll just talk so bad about planet Earth. Planet Earth hasn't done anything but fed us, you know? So why are you going to bite the hand that feeds you? That's what my mother would say. You know, oh, there's a bench over there that opened up, so I'm going to walk over there. And so I can sit down on the bench. Even though I love the grounding is beautiful, but I like to sit on the bench too. Yeah, so I was talking about how people, you know, speak badly. Oh, I think he's going to sit back down on it. Yeah, he is. I tell you. I'm not going to tell you. Woo! But sometimes, you know, I just, man, oh man. I don't know. I don't get the privacy that I used to have, you know, 20 years ago. There's lots of people now in this city, and they just kind of take over. But it's okay. They're enjoying. Oh, is he moving? Look at me. I'm sorry. Yes, he's moving. Okay, let me just go over there and see if I can sit down before somebody else comes and sit down. Yeah. So we've got to start to respect, you know, Mama Earth, because truly we get all of our resources from Mama Earth. We get healing from Mama Earth. We can get medicines from Mama Earth if our, you know, healthcare system would like to study it and start to create medicines through it. But if not, we can do it ourselves. You know, that's another thing that I did to honor the divine energy today. I drank, you know, a very beautiful smoothie. Today, I had a chocolate smoothie. I love chocolate milk. So what I did was I'll put some oatmeal, two scoops of oatmeal, some good oatmeal at the bottom of the cup. Then I'll put some coconut flakes. Then I'll put some seeds, whatever seeds I want. Today I had some sunflower seeds and some sesame seeds and hemp seeds. And then I put a little bit of a vanilla protein powder just to sweeten it up a bit. And then I put a banana in it. And then I put some cocoa powder in it. And I make myself a tea with chocolate and coconut tea and some green or dandelion root tea also in it. And I steep that all night. And then in the morning, I'll put it in a container, put it in the fridge, and I'll use that tea as the water for the smoothie, like half of it. And then I'll put coconut water for the other half, and then I blend it up. And I have me a chocolate smoothie. Maybe I'll write down the ingredients in the description box. It's kind of a little different, but I love chocolate milk and I love dark chocolate. So if you love chocolate milk and you love dark chocolate, then I think that you may love this smoothie. And that's my coffee substitute, because dark chocolate has caffeine in it, you know, to help you wake you up. So that's my, you know, smoothie, coffee smoothie. And I love cocoa too, dark chocolate, 100% cocoa. I actually read a book about it, where they explained how cocoa was once currency in the world, and it was foods for the kings and the queen. You know, they called it foods of the gods, you know. So cocoa, it has a lot of nutritional health benefits in it. The hemp seed, all the seeds have good healthy benefits to it. I buy really good stuff, and then I soak my seeds overnight and I dehydrate them, so that's a way to sprout them and keep them alive. And to me, those are like the enzymes, God's army coming in, and it's just good stuff, good stuff. So yeah, I did give myself one of those smoothies, and then I came outside and grounded, put my feet on the ground, and sitting here, I just love it. It's lovely. Other, and I really would like for the church people or religious people to really get this understanding that there is nothing wrong with understanding God as divine energy, and as understanding God as love, actually divine love. Especially in the Bible, it says that God is love. So I don't think that I'm going, being blasphemous. I'm just explaining it in a different kind of way, in a way that can be healing, a way that can help beautify your life, a way that can bring prosperity to you. And I think in a way, hi there, that every human being ought to know, so that we can start to recalibrate our lives and make this world a much better place. What do you think? I say it over and over again. I hope you're not tired of hearing me say that, but that is my mission. That's my purpose. I really, really would love to share this information with as many people as possible. But that's all that I have to share for today. Just giving you a little bit more background on this energy and understanding that it truly is God the Father of the Bible. So you don't have to be afraid of it. You really don't. And when you utilize it to bring healing to yourself in order to create yourself to be a better version of yourself, in order to go out in the world and love others in a more divine manner, if those are the reasons behind it, then yeah, let's do it. But if you're going to do it to try to manipulate people or to try to get what you want in a deceitful way, then no, let's not do it. But I don't think you can really do it in a deceitful way. Like a deceitful way to try to use this energy is, through masks, the divine, because this energy will bring out a divine beauty out of you, men included, women and men. The divine feminine will come out. The good care that you're given to yourself will show, no matter if you're a male or female. And so when you do it in the natural divine way, it's real. But other people, they'll try to do it through makeup or through, the way they dress, or trying to get all pumped up in the way that they look and their physique. They could go through their ego. Not all. I'm not saying that everybody who does go to the gym and, doing that in a divine manner because you want your body to be healthy and working properly all the way up until, old age, then there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that is showing love for yourself and showing love for others who love you too, because you are taking such good care of yourself. You're trying to be here for them as long as possible. So there's nothing wrong with that. But some people, they don't do it for those reasons. They do it to get girls, or they do it as revenge, or however which way. You know what I mean. But yeah, so I guess that's all that I have to say today. I hope I didn't offend anybody with what I said. I don't mean to offend anyone. I just, love to speak the truth. My truth, anyway. Okay? So, as usual, I hope that you have a wonderful day, because you know why. If you have a wonderful day, I'm going to have one too.